the Grand Slam champions!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the PAX Arena here, where we are getting ourselves well deep into the JBL Quantum Grand Slam for 2023. We've already sent home one of our 4 teams this afternoon. It's time to do it once again here in our lower bracket final. Conky's by my side, mate. Ground Zero versus Placeholders. One team goes up to face Power in the grand final. One team goes home.
I was talking to the owner of Ground Zero a minute ago, Excel, and he was saying that he's actually feeling a little bit of the pressure with Placeholders coming in, and I don't blame him, right? Coming in with a sub does make it a little bit awkward, but look, you know, they've still shown that they can actually go toe-to-toe with Power earlier in the day. Placeholders absolutely decimating Serrani, so I think it actually might be a pretty close matchup as we move into this one.
Exactly, let's jump into this lower bracket final, ladies and gentlemen. I know everybody's super amped up after that break here at the PAX Arena stage. And Ground Zero versus Placeholders is going to be one where I think for Ground Zero, this is where they want to flip the script on a Placeholders, right? If they get themselves a 4-0, that sets themselves up for a really, really good grand final against Power. But Placeholders, man, they've got to be feeling hot coming off that 4-0 after Serrani.
Absolutely, and why wouldn't you? It was so smooth, and just the way that every single time Serrani was able to do something, there was an immediate response. There wasn't a delayed fuse, there wasn't anything like that. It was like, all right, there's a goal, we're going to get 2. So they look comfortable the whole way through. We're going to have to see some more individual heroics from Ground Zero, I reckon. You know, Fiber obviously had some really, really good moments, but it can't be the one-man show. We need to see everyone really doing some good things throughout the whole thing for Ground Zero. But again, I think just from what we've seen so far today, anything can go, but I think this one should line up really, really well now.
Yeah, it definitely should. I feel like both of these two teams are relatively evenly matched when it comes to both of their playstyles as well. I think, you know, when we looked at the Power versus Ground Zero match, it was definitely a lot of defensive reads coming in from Ground Zero. They had to play that defensive game against Power with a lot of that passing and stuff that's going around. Whereas conversely here for Placeholders, it feels like they've got that front 2 duo, right? They don't have that full 3-man attack that Power have been putting towards Ground Zero. So maybe Ground Zero, they're going to be, you know, off the back of playing up against Power, it's going to be a little bit easier for them in the defense to only have to defend 2 of those players that are going forward. Not saying that Vortex isn't going to be going for goals, but at the end of the day, it's all about the duos. Ladies and gentlemen, here in the PAX Arena, let's hear some noise for Placeholders versus Ground Zero. Winner gets to play up against Power for the chance of being the champions of the JBL Quantum Grand Slam for 2023. And game number 1 well underway.
Straight into the kickoff, and already we're starting to see some pressure being applied by the Placeholders. But again, straight towards the middle. Vortex looking to send it nice and high and dry. Gus is there for the receival. Is it a repeat? Is it the same? I think I almost heard a oh from the crowd just then.
It really did feel like that kind of came out of nowhere. I think Gus just beat everybody to the ball right.
Yeah.
Just got a nice little glance off the top of his hood, and unfortunately there for Ground Zero, they just weren't able to defend that. I believe it was Baz that was the last line of defense and just got a little bit past him. And now Placeholders, they set themselves up with a 1-goal advantage, but Ground Zero, they are more than happy to score a few goals themselves, so they're not going to count them out just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. But what a statement to get started here. Placeholders, you know, Ground Zero not wanting to be on the back foot early. Pressure's kind of more on their shoulders. You know, we talk about Placeholders feeling a little bit loosey-goosey. He's very confident coming into this match. And again, Gus, talking in that interview to Elfish Man before, he knows that he wants to win, but that's an immediate response there to come through from Kaka.
Exactly, he said no hard feelings to the boys of Ground Zero, but at the end of the day, it is competition, and Gus getting that first answer, and now Kaka responds in kind.
Yeah.
As I said, Ground Zero, they're never out of it. These guys know how to score goals, know how to score them quick as well, and we're only about 40 seconds into this game here, Conky. We've already had 2 goals.
That's exactly right, and it's what we want to see. High scoring, high action, high octane. And straight off the backboard, it's going to be Kaka looking to center it up again, but Fiber has to try and fight it out of the corner here. Misty will pick it back up. Gus does get the pinch and sends it off. Vortex looking to bring it forward once more. Fiber, though, having to kick it high and dry.
Yeah, some real good defensive systems there from Ground Zero. They had that 2-man defense to really be able to just pass in between Kaka as well as Fiber to try and keep this ball in their controllers. Now you see the Placeholders trying to do their best for some of these 1v1s to get this ball pinched out and forward for Gus's attention. Fiber though, nice little touch in that midfield as well. Just kind of slows down the play a little bit. They're going to go on the offensive here. Will Ground Zero try and keep it in that corner. Nice little pinch away though from the placeholders. Getting this ball back. They can try and reset their defenses. Again, beautiful touch off the roost there for Misty, but Ground Zero deal with it well.
Absolutely. Baz able to bring it all the way forward there. So much airtime as Fiber lines it up in the middle, but Gus straight on the defense. Every single member. The iron wall of data, as you mentioned, talking about it earlier, it's brought it back again.
That was so close there. 3-man committal from the placeholders that potentially could have been a goal for Ground Zero if they had somebody in position for that. And now Misty gets a response off of the roof. Nice little save there from Fiber. Baz's last line of defense gets the touch before Vortex does, but Gus goes into the corner, goes away, but Kaka deals with it well. Misty once again wants to keep this onslaught going. And the Ground Zero defense holds strong once again, and they will hold on and not concede another goal.
So many 50-50s up in this position right now. They're fighting tooth and nail for this ball, but it's going to be brought forward by Misty, and there is no one in the back line. Fiber has to go hard, but it's an immediate demolition there from Baz. Able to give them a little bit of breathing room here as now the pressure goes back on. Kaka will center it back up, but it's Misty looking forward, and it does go back in the hands of Fiber.
It was close pass there. Gus almost had the timing on it. But as you said, Fiber getting the touch for Ground Zero means they're able to win the ball back here. And now, a bit of defensive shot. Fiber shots on goal. Nobody's there at home. And Fiber will capitalize on a fresh ball in front of him. Just gets a little drop punt and off it goes, rocketing towards goal. We always love to see those. Like the most conventional goal in Rocket League. You just get a nice little drop punt from the midfield and nobody's there to defend it. Ground Zero, they have control of this game here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left remaining. So plenty of time for more goals to be scored here from the placeholders, but a lot of this offensive onslaught, they haven't really been able to break the defenses just yet of Ground Zero.
Doesn't quite get the flip reset there. Vortex though, trying to bring it back up. Will be defended very, very well. Once again, it's Gus on that shadow defense, just keeping an eye on it the whole way. It almost drags it, almost dribbles it, but it's Misty with the layup, and they are able to close out another one. So, you know, it's again a thing of Ground Zero. They score, placeholders respond back quickly. This is lining up to be the game that we were hoping for all day, Luke.
Oh, 100%. And this is a very, very close affair. You can see as soon as Gus broke those first ankles, it was panic station for Ground Zero. They knew they had to try and get bodies back there in time. And unfortunately for Baz, fell off of the crossbar. Misty almost gets a little fake out there. He's not able to beat these Ground Zero members. And so placeholders, they are putting the offense in. We'll see what this counter-attack's going to look like for Ground Zero. They've put in a whole lot of effort so far with Baz getting that ball forward, but Vort's able to get that towards Misty in that midfield, but Fiber once again pushing this defensive line forward. Means they want to try and get this counter-attack going, get this extra bit of offense going forward to try and get that 1-goal lead back.
Bit of space. Baz though, waiting for it again. He will hold the dribble for a little bit, but it's Gus sending it forward. That centering ball. Fiber though will be able to at least get it into some extra clear space in that corner. Continuing to fight for it, just trying to catch the ball up all the way at the top. But Gus is there again. Baz in a good position. Misty should be able to deny though. He will. Now it's back to Kaka. Does replenish that boost on the way through as well, so he should be able to get some additional movement. A demolition, something moving now, but Gus, he's also gone. Now look at this from Kaka. He's sending it up everywhere, but it's going to be Misty who respawns quick enough to bring it back.
Yeah, he had no boost to go off of the roof there for Kaka. Did everything he needed to, and unfortunately Fiber loses the dribble there as well. So Ground Zero, they're putting an onslaught on themselves. Seeing if placeholders can hold strong in the last 40 seconds of this game to 1. Kaka gets across towards goal, almost double touch off that second wall. Doesn't get it going towards goal, and now with Fiber as well as Messi just butting heads on the ball here, they will stunt a lot of that momentum it did have. Gus gonna try his best. He gets a scoop off the corner, doesn't get the second touch to send it into goal. There's too many defenders around him for this individual effort to work out. You can see the placeholders, they want to try and have somebody back so they don't get scored in the last 10 seconds.
Trying their best. Gus, Vortex holding on to it as long as they can. It looks like there is a little bit of a layout from Baz. There it is. And the crowd will roar as they hear for Ground Zero, pulling it forward in the dire straits of the game. 10 seconds left, and they managed to make it work.
It was such a deft touch from Baz as well. Completely broke the ankles of all of the defenders. They were hoping that would go towards the right-hand side of the post, but a nice little touch from the left bottom corner. And now with the demo, they need something special here for
gotta hold it up
placeholders
high
to try and get themselves back to even to try and go towards overtime here. Misty goes up into the air. The ball hasn't touched the ground yet. Ground Zero. The ball touches the ground. Fiber pops off as well, and they will have game 1 in the books.
Very nicely done in the end from Ground Zero to keep their cool. These placeholders, came out hot, Luke, right?
Yeah,
They were looking really, really strong at the very start. Again, you know, they're just keeping their eye on the prize as it sort of stands. But ultimately, there is some space left in this series, and you can see that the guys at Placeholders are a little bit ejected there. Certainly not hurting by any means. You know, there's still plenty more in this best of 7, as always, but overall, that was a really, really good start from Placeholders. Responded well from Ground Zero.
Yeah, exactly. And that goes to show the reason why the Ground Zero are coming in the upper bracket, right? The reason why these guys are 7-0 is they've got all the composure in the world to be able to pull it back here and a lot of confidence as well. And unfortunately for Gus, that 100% land win rate is now out of the window. It's about 98%.
Still pretty good.
For Gus, it's still pretty good in comparison to
What did you say? It's like I played some like offline thing and still won that. So, you know,
Yeah.
100% strike rate so far.
Definitely. So he's looking pretty good when it comes to those win rates. But yeah, as you said, you know, it's kind of the tenacity of Ground Zero to never go away, I think is the best thing, is they're constantly trying to just keep a lot of this forward pressure going against Placeholders and just, you know, just knowing that a lot of their defensive efforts are going to be what's going to separate them from the Placeholders. And it's at the point now where Ground Zero, they win the first map twice in a row here, so it seems like they are very good starters when it comes to a lot of their series as well. That's something they can pride themselves on for the rest of the day.
I love Fiverr. He's so fun to watch, eh? Just seeing them roar back every single time the team does something. That's the energy that you kind of need. But the thing is, you know, when you put up the big amounts of energy, you need to keep that consistent. And yeah, there's the roar as they win that big one. You can hear the crowd. Oh, clearly fan favorites as well. Like the amount of electricity in this arena. And of course, if you are just joining us, you know, make sure you actually do come down. You know, get off the stream, walk down to PAX. Pretty good place. Down to the PAX Arena. We're here all weekend, having a good time.
Yeah, we definitely are, especially with the JBL booth just around the corner as well. And Ground Zero, absolute fan favourites when it comes to the Twitch poll as well. Those of you guys who are unfortunate enough not to be here live in the PAX Arena, you can be a part of the Twitch chat. Maybe even people in the arena are, you know, trying to skew those votes with, you know, some Twitch votes on their phone as well.
I guarantee you that Legits has like 5 or 10 different accounts just spamming Ground Zero the entire time. You know that's going to be the way.
Yeah. It is all about GZ here today. And see if they can continue their roll on here, because as we said at the top of this series, they want to make this clean. They want to not expend as much energy as they, you know, have to going in towards that grand final where they're going to have to get the bracket reset if they want to try and take down Power. Right now, starting off with, again, some more defensive efforts from Ground Zero. Placeholders seem to be the ones that are more than happy to get that ball in their own possession and just try and keep it, you know, coaching forward, to try and put some shots on, try and force Ground Zero to play out of their own half.
Moving forward. Again, it's just this constant defense as well. Ground Zero putting the pressure on the Placeholders, keeping it in that forward the entire time. And now Baz trying to bring this one forward again. Gus will be able to collect for a little while, gets the center shot on towards goal, but is it going to be Misty to pick it up? No, not quite. Corner, center around. Gus does get the layup though. It is back center. Baz does get the miss, but it's brought back to Kaka, so it's A-OK for now.
The ball does get dug out there from the Ground Zero squad once again. Their defensive efforts, I think, is going to be a big factor for them in the remainder of this tournament for JBL Quantum Grand Slam. They've just been able to be such a steel wall. Even a team like Power hasn't been able to score too much on them. And Misty, that was almost a beautiful touch from him to be able to secure the first goal of the game once again for the Placeholders. They will continue to put the pedal to the metal here. Nice little touch off the roof as well. Not a shot on goal, and Fiverr will clear.
Fort ready for the defense as always, though. He's been sort of changing up into that role. You know, Gus has been sitting back on the lines for a little while now, but Vortex and Misty have had to do some heavier lifting in this part with Ground Zero certainly putting the pressure on. But there's Gus moving it forward again. It's a great defense to come through from Kaka. And now we center out up again, but Vort is there to collect once more.
Yeah, they're just continuing to keep this pressure, right? Gus is constantly being in their face. They're trying to dribble past some of these defenders for Ground Zero. I didn't hear a demo in the background, but Kaka! Oh no! You hate to see it.
He tried his best.
What happened? He just didn't get there in time. The ball went just over his head, and it was just constantly just trying to catch himself in that free fall. And Placeholders get the first goal of game number 2 once again here.
Yeah. Doing so well here, Placeholders, to just show that they are certainly a force to be reckoned with. Ground Zero only just narrowly clinching that first victory in the first game of this series. Line on goal, Vort. No one there to defend. Nobody home for Ground Zero.
Yeah, it was a nifty little shot as well. It just had enough to drop off there, enough top spin to just drop down. You can see here a little spiral on the ball, and unfortunately there for Ground Zero, they just weren't set up for that one, and it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. And now Placeholders off to a rip-roar of a start. They get themselves a 2-0 score lead. And Ground Zero, they're the ones that are going to have to pull this one back. They've got 3 minutes left to go, so we're almost about to hit the halfway mark here. But Conky haven't really had that many offensive positions to play with just yet.
No, not at all. Wow, how the turntables. Waiting to see what they can do here as Kaka gets another centering goal. Shot into position. Gusto able to defend with Valor for the time being, but they do pick it back up again. Baz really starting to feel it here as he does get the bounce and the dribble. No, not quite. Kaka forces it back, trying to cross on the line. As Fiver's going to be able to pick the pressure back up as well, but no. Placeholders still able to hold on for now.
Yeah, now they get at the center. They definitely would have loved to have seen that touch missed his front part of his card. Maybe get that redirect going in. Now Bort has to go all the way back here to try and defend off of the wall. Gets the ball cleared out, just trying to buy enough time for the rest of the defenders of Placeholders coming. Kaka goes off the wall. Gus wins the fight there against Fiber, but they will keep the ball here in the offensive half for Ground Zero. They want to keep the pressure on here up against Placeholders to see if they can hold on.
Fiber does get the boost again, able to make it work for the time being. But Gus holding on to it, the dribble, keeping it in his hands for as long as possible. Now Misty has to get the centering shot, but it's going to be Fiber to drive it forward. Kaka is there with him, but it's again Vortex, who has been a massive part of this defense for the Placeholders for the entirety of this game.
Yeah, Vortex really just putting a lot of pressure back onto any of these attackers, getting some bumps, getting some demos, and really just getting this ball in the right hands at the right time. Gus now goes off at the backboard, almost dunks it in as well. They will keep this offensive pressure on at Ground Zero. They need to hold on. 3-0 lead is not what they want here in game number 2. So they will get the counter attack, and Kaka for beautiful save once again, but the ball goes back in and Baz closes the gap by 1.
I thought he had that, tried to put the hand out, but unfortunately the span just not long enough. Look at him fought like a bug on the wall, but unfortunately he misses the mark and goes into the goal. Oh, that is unfortunate, but it means that Ground Zero has a chance back. You know, Placeholders have held control of this map so far, the game, the entirety of the time. But Ground Zero have seen a bit of a weakness and they managed to capitalize on it.
Yeah, Ground Zero, they never go away. They will constantly be in the fight no matter what.
Pest.
They will continue to hold on. That's the biggest thing is Placeholders haven't been able to get out to like that 3-goal lead where it really starts to put the pressure on the enemy team. There's only 1 goal left remaining and only 1 minute left remaining here, Conky. Still is anybody's game.
For sure. As it gets a center shot. Fiber can't quite hit it, but it's not going to matter too much as it does bounce off that backboard. Now Vortex trying to pick it up for again a centering line. Baz is there, but so is Fiber. Now Fiber going to get a little bit of a dribble up. Actually goes, oh my god, the redirection from Gus. Able to hold on to that. He is just an absolute menace.
So just being able to get touches, forcing any reads, have to come out here with Ground Zero, and you can see with only 30 seconds left to go, Placeholders, they're more than happy to just keep sending this ball back towards the offensive half. That's a nice little shot on there from Misty, but good touch from Fiber to be able to shut that down for them. Now they need to try and get on the counter-attack, so they need to try and get some of their pitches going their way here, Conky, with only 18 seconds left to go. They need a goal, and they need it from somewhere. Maybe this is where it goes, but a good redirect there.
Baz.
Once again from Fort to be able to get this ball out of their defensive half and send Ground Zero on the defensive.
Holding for, can he do it? It doesn't look like it. It's going to be held on. They can keep the ball up there for as long as possible. We've seen maybe some moves, but no. They're going to dunk it down straight onto that floor. That'll be game number 2 done, and Placeholders make it 1-1.
Good start here from the lower bracket guns in Placeholders. They're really trying to put the screws into Ground Zero. Fortunately for them, they just weren't able to get much of that offensive pressure on that they'd like to have. Usually, you know, we see them hold on quite a lot in their defensive half and then get a really good counter-attack going, really try and punish those teams for overcommitting. But Placeholders, they just haven't allowed them to do that. It was just constant pressure. Basically, every single time this ball got over the halfway mark, it felt like it was either Vortex or Gus were just hitting that ball back into their defensive half and just making Ground Zero having to turn tail and try and dig that ball out once again.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really good stuff from Placeholders there. I felt like they held on to the pace of the game for long enough, right?
Yep.
Ground Zero certainly showed that they had the opportunity to bring it back a little bit with that 1 goal there, but it just wasn't quite enough. And yeah, you know, despite a valiant effort on shots on goals, it was Gus again who really was able to hold on to it. You know, we've seen Vortex at the back line a little bit more here as well. But that's just making it easier for the rest of the team to kind of focus their way up towards the front end of the map for them, of the field. But yeah, it's Placeholders taking it 1-1. Ground Zero, not going to let that one go for now.
Yeah, so we're not going to be seeing another 4-0 here in the lower bracket. You're going to see there Misty just telling the boys, one game at a time. That's all we need to do.
Just tap it in.
Just tap it in. We don't need to get ahead of ourselves just yet. We want to try and take down the big dogs in Ground Zero.
Yep.
What an interesting tower we would have here if we have our lower bracket team going all the way through. Placeholders having to play almost every single series.
Yeah, going toe-to-toe with one of the best. You know, a team that does represent this region internationally. And not only that, but puts up some decent results as well. Now, pressure forward, trying to hold on once more. Baz looks like he's going to be able to capitalize on that somewhat, but Misty's going to be able to get the catch and send it back. Does going up. Kaka able to defend for now. Will be able to get the retouch. No, it's actually going to go back that way. Gus now trying to get the dribble out of the air. He will be able to gather some control, but it's Fiber to knock it out of his boots.
Yeah, once again, ground zero, doing a beautiful job in their defensive half, just constantly keeping this ball out. Kaka just seems to be the roaming rover and just wants to go around, touch the ball as much as he possibly can. That's a nice little bump. Gus doesn't get the redirect, and now Kaka has control of the ball once again, but he will get pushed off of it there by Vortex, and Fiber can try some individual dribbling, see if he can do something here in the midfield. Gus, though, goes up, open goal, needs the touch. Anybody there? It's Kaka in time, and Vortex with the final touch when everyone goes away. And Placeholders will put themselves one goal up once again.
Look at this, just the complete and utter teamwork. Vortex from the back line does manage to come through at the most opportune time. Misty and Gus doing all of the pre-work. And then they've come in and closed it. Misty, fantastic job here.
It seems like they've really got this kind of two-in-one strategy really working out for the Placeholders, right? Just having this duo of Misty as well as Gus constantly putting the pressure on the Vortex. Whenever anybody gets that triple commit going, he will come in and close the deal.
I just love the difference, you know, between Series 1 and 2. Like seeing Vortex now spend a little bit more time in the back line. Gus was very much picking that up. His shadow defense was fantastic in the opening series. But here we go, pressure on again, getting in towards that forward line. They go for the opportunity, but Misty's going to kick it straight out of there. Kaka will have a little bit of a response here. Fiber not too far away.
He almost got up and under that ball there. He almost got the scoop over the top to try and get the dribble away and break some ankles, but the Placeholders hold on just for long enough, and now ground zero will be able to get that ball coming back towards their way. Placeholders still have to hold on when it comes to the defense. Misty, nice little chip away there towards the midfield, but Fiber goes up over the air, and Vortex is there in time to pull the ball out.
Yeah. Straight back forward into that position. Misty once more tries to get control of it, but it's going to be Kaka to head it from the high heavens. Baz will be able to get the catch. He will. He's sending it forward. Vort does just narrowly miss the mark, but gets enough of a touch to bring it back down to the ground. Misty is going to be able to get that one back as a result of it as well as he sets the focus. He tries to get the dribble, but Baz is going to rip it out of the cold dead hands.
Very hard to try and get these individual aerial dribbles going. There was a demolition. I'm not quite sure which team is lacking the member right now, and it seems like it was ground zero because Placeholders capitalized once again here. They are really putting the foot down onto ground zero. So that demo, you can see Kaka just respawned and he didn't have the time to get anywhere close to goal. And as soon as Baz got his ankles broken, that was it.
Very loud fan behind me for the Placeholders right now. Not even a Rocket League player either. You'll love to see it. Beautiful stuff here as the control is found. And Vort, that's another one. It's just looking easy now for them, isn't it? Just the absolute and sheer control that they've got. The complacency now maybe a little bit for ground zero. Placeholders are really coming in hot.
Yeah, just getting that second touch off of the backboard there. That was a beautiful individual goal there from Vortex. And just being able to score from the midfield is very, very good for the side of Placeholders. And now they're in that tantalizing 3-goal lead here, Gonkin. This is where you can probably take the foot off the pedal just a little bit here, play a little bit more defensive, maybe like a minute or two, see if you can try and get yourself something special here. There's not too many people left in the backfield. Gus playing defense for his buddy, but Vortex isn't able to close it out, and now Misty's going to try his best to spot the ball in the midfield. Absolutely.
Now we have to see ground zero reconvene in towards the center to try and get a little bit of this extra control back, but right, again, it's Placeholders being a bee in the bonnet of ground zero. Kaka grabbing that control, gets the dribble, gets the position. No, Gus. Is that Gus and Vort straight out of nowhere? Taking that control now, Gus at the center field, and it's going to be actually able to bounce a little further, but Kaka there again to bring it forward, but there is a demolition in the process now. Baz has to try and take it out of the hands of Misty.
Yeah, ground zero, they do have at least enough time for a counter-attack here. Gus is saved there in time. Kaka,
there's Baz.
He had a choice to make, but Baz now doesn't get the touch to go back towards goal here, and Misty needs to try and clear this ball out. Does get it done, and Fiber will reaggress once again off the back wall, but Vortex again thwarts any of those attacks coming in from ground zero. They're trying everything here, but Gus is just absolutely everywhere right now. I was talking about him being a little bit more forward this time, but now he's in the back end once more. Really Mr. Reliable at this point in time. I've been saying his name over and over and over again. But look, a minute left, Luke, to try and pull away 3 goals is a very, very tough challenge.
big pill to swallow.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially with only 1 minute to go, right? You know, we were talking about a minute and a half ago where Placeholders can just play defensive, just make sure they don't get any of these goals scored on them, and then the pressure goes back onto ground zero. Nice little demo there from Baz, but now Gus is going to get that interaction going, try and get that 50-50 working his way. Fort will go up over the wall. He's unable to beat out Baz here, who keeps control of the ball, but the ball still is in their defensive half, so they have to be careful with what this ball does. But you can just see Placeholders basically setting this halfway line as their wall. This is where they want to keep the ball. This is where they want to keep the action going. 30 seconds left to go here. And Conky, it's going to be hard to score 3 from here, but maybe this is it. No. Baz really wanted that crossbar to be a little bit higher.
There's certainly a world where it potentially happened, but now you feel like it's just been taken away here from ground zero. No more opportunities left to work with. Does go over the head, but Misty and Ford again, just fantastic on that defense. 10 seconds left, Luke. Looks like it's going to be dead in the water for ground zero, but again, you know, it's just going to be that 2-1 lead for Placeholders for now. They've got more work, they've got more opportunities to do this, but again, you know, this is going to be Placeholders taking the lead against, you know, the second in line here, and obviously the winners of the Spring Invitational in ground zero, so, man, pressure's on. Pressure
is definitely on here for ground zero. Obviously, there's still plenty of Rocket League to be able to play here in this best of 7, but much like we said in that previous series for Sarani, right? 2 games, you're like, okay, maybe this is where you start to get a little bit nervous, but as soon as 3 games start to come up for the opposition team, that's when it is all panic station. So we'll have to see if ground zero are going to be able to bring back this 4th game here, or whether or not we could see Placeholders go to an early lead in this series, basically put themselves on series point and have a date with power. And who knows, maybe this 2-1 strategy, you know, with Vortex being the rock in the back, and he's just got this new upstart in Gus, just really be able to kind of do some unconventional stuff, get some beautiful passes with him and Misty, might be able to shake up power. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you're power, you're probably looking towards ground zero being your competitors in that grand final, right? So maybe your whole mentality has been behind just trying to prepare for them, but if Placeholders do throw a spanner in the works, then we could be having a completely different grand final.
Yeah, look, call me Denji, because I go on a date with power. That's all I'm saying. And these guys are looking like it at this point in time. Placeholders, they want it. They'll fight for it. But yeah, look, I think, you know, ground zero, we're kind of always expecting it. You know, there is that little bit of a curveball being thrown in that, you know, Super Locky's obviously not playing here. So that certainly does put the pressure on a little bit more for the side of ground zero. It's not exactly going to be one where they're going to just go into it a little bit lackluster, though. You know, Baz obviously a fantastic player, lots of experience for them too. But the thing that I sort of commented on a little bit earlier, Luke, was you can see when ground zero are hot and fired, they're up and about, they're screaming, they're cheering. Yeah. But now look at them.
Yeah, this is why they've taken one of the tactical timeouts here as well, here, Conky. So this is a very, very good place for them to get it. It's exactly what we said right now. The coach is able to really just get in here and
big LBP.
Real set, reset all the boys, and imagine just trying to get back to their own systems, right? Yeah, this is the reason why that we're here. You know, we're able to stick it to power in that series as well. We went 7-0 in our groups. You can see here, Fiber seems to be one of the vocal voices as well on stage, just trying to get them back to what got them here in the first place, and the reason why they are such a powerhouse in this region as well. So, we've got about a minute, I believe, in this timeout, maybe 2 minutes, something like that, just trying to have a chat, get themselves reset. I think this is the perfect time to take it as well. If they got 3-1 down, and at this point they had their tactical timeout not being taken, then I would probably start throwing question marks towards ground zero.
Absolutely. Now remember the headsets that they're wearing up on stage, the JBL Quantum 1s. I believe we've actually been giving away some 100 Thieves editions as well. So make sure you come down and dance off on the stage afterwards. Big man Kabraska and Lishi, they'll give you some good stuff. Had some rap going on as well. We've had everything down at this stage. You know, JBL thinks of absolutely everything, so it's been a beautiful event so far, and it continues forward here, Luke, with game number 4. Placeholders looking to push forward, but ground zero, can they bring it back?
That's the question. See if they're looking hot and fresh after this timeout here, where you really want to try and get everything out of your coach, really trying to get everything out of this mental reset for ground zero. Starting out here with a little bit of pressure going towards the way of the Placeholders. They want to try and get themselves one of these early goals so they can fall back to that defensive style. Baz will get the pass up into the air here for Kakai. Isn't on goal just yet, almost gets the duck dive there from the backboard, but nice little touch there from Fiber. Isn't on goal once again, but still keeping the ball in Placeholders half is exactly what they want.
Absolutely. Seeing it forward, Baz, let's get a shot on goal, but it's Misty to defend straight away, and that's going to be now Fiber having to really, really dig deep here off the backboard to try and get this back into action. Does manage to at least juke out Vort, but look at Misty now, has the lineup. Kaka defends.
Yeah, I thought maybe Fiber there, if he got that second touch, that definitely could have been on for ground zero, but Kaka had to clean it up there towards the goals, and Fiber once again back on this defensive side. Really wants to try and get past some of these attackers, try and force Placeholders to be in these awkward 1v2 scenarios. But now they're putting the pressure on. Gus goes in, Misty, nice little demolition there. It's only Kaka as well as Fiber left here with Baz coming back in. He does get the touch. Nice little touch there to the corner for Kaka. Maybe they can get the redirect into Baz to try and get this first goal of game number 4.
Keeps an eye on it, but it's going to be Fiber with the defense. He's got it. Baz trying to get that back out, but Gus is just continuing to, again, apply the pressure. Vaught will be able to line it up, and they are going to be able to defend at least once more. But again, you know, Gus has just had so much ball time in this position, in towards the forward, that it's just really like letting the pressure off the rest of Placeholders. They can just focus on the defense as Gus is doing it all alone.
Yeah, Gus is getting some really good touches coming out of these corners as well, but ground zero, nice little counter-attack for them as well. They're getting this ball stuck in towards that goal square, but now Gus, with ball in hand, really wants to try and send this forward, especially with the amount of committal that's coming in from ground zero as well. Fiver's in the backfield just trying to wait for this shot coming in from Vortex. Gets the second redirect, nice little shot as well. Coming off the back wall, needs some touches from Placeholders, and they do. They clear the ball out, and now Misty needs one shot on goal, but Kaka gets the D.
Brings it back, straight on in, and Fiber, narrowly missing the top. Sunroof was closed apparently in that position, but it's going to be the demo again. Vaught will be able to pick up the pieces though. Sends it forward anyway, but look at the strong defense now from ground zero. They're going to be able to send it high to the happy hands of Vaught, but he's going to be pressured very, very soon as well as he just tries to hold it on in towards that corner for a little bit longer. But now over the top, it's going to be Baz, it's going to be Kaka! There you go, boom to come on through as ground zero get the opening goal in this game 4.
Yeah, you can see Vortex is trying to hold on to that ball there and trying to wait for the respawn and try, and they got that demolition, and the ball just kind of stunted in that corner and got a few awkward pinches away from the Placeholders, and ground zero completely capitalized on it with Kaka coming in with the shot. And now ground zero, they can breathe a sigh of relief, right? They can finally have the goal lead. They can sit back, they can relax and be, okay, all it takes is us to just try and hold on for another minute or two. Let's start putting pressure on the Placeholders. They'll start to make mistakes. Then we can capitalize on a lot of those counter-attacks.
That's exactly right. Placeholders, certainly a team that is going to be able to sort of move it forward, but ground zero, you know, the experience and level heads here. But again, you know, it's hard to break past that dynamic duo of Misty and Vortex. You know, Gus as well has just been the glue to kind of keep it together.
It definitely does feel like Gus has been a very welcome addition to this Placeholders roster, but now Fiber gets the touch, but that's going back towards his own goal. Gus, speaking of, does get a offensive shot on. Ground zero able to dig it out one more time here. Vortex is going to try his best to get some of these pinches going, but Baz gets a nice little clear pass all the way to Kaka here in the corner. Does get the second touch before Vortex gets there, so now he's in the backfield. They need the defenders to do the work, and they do get it done in ground zero. Maybe another shot on here. Fiber gets back off the back wall. Kaka streaming in, gets it in the top left corner. And ground zero get themselves a 2-0 goal lead, and we talked about a sigh of relief from goal number 1, and imagine with goal number 2, it is relaxation time for ground zero.
From Baz to Fiber to Kaka, that was beautiful teamwork to bring it on in as well. You know, the bounce off the sidebar as well to be able to bring it forward is absolutely beautiful. So as we move into this kickoff, minute 30, and it looks like already straight into the back line. Vaught gave it his best crack, but unfortunately didn't quite work out. So ground zero very much in control here. 2 in the coffer, hopefully being able to bring this back to a 2-2. It's exactly what we're begging for in a series like this, Luke. Yeah, so much to fight for.
Even up this series will be exactly what we're expecting here in this lower final. Really expecting this to be a dogfight between both of these two teams. Another demo goes through now though, so Placeholders, they want to try and keep their aggression on. Try and force ground zero to start to sweat just a little bit with 1 minute left remaining. They're going to have to score within maybe the next 20 or so seconds, so Placeholders have a bit of time to try and find out where that last goal is going to come from. Misty, shot on towards the back part of the post. Gus goes up, gets the touch on the back of his roof, but now Vortex comes in, but Kaka cleans it up.
My God! Scorer and saviour apparently as well, breaker of hearts. He brings it forward once more. Vaught still trying to get that control. Kaka bumps him away too. Look at this defense, but unfortunately it's not enough to break through. Gus calling Krasno because he's broken down that wall.
Definitely does feel like that Fiber was kind of stuck on the wall here. He wanted to try and see if the ball would go up and over his car so he can knock it back in, but unfortunately for him, Gus was just in the right place at the right time for that drop of the ball. And now Placeholders are within 1. They've got 30 seconds to do it here, Conky. It's going to be a hard task for them. All it takes is ground zero to just hold this ball for as long as they possibly can. Ball starting going towards ground zero's goal here. So Gus, once again, a nice little touch from him. Missy's going to send it up into the corner. Need a nice little touch again for the Ground Zero team to try and get this ball all cleared out. Baz is going to go forward, maybe try and make this another 2-goal lead once again. With 8 seconds left to go, they need something special here for the placeholders to try and get this last second goal. The ball will go up in the air, it's going to drop into the midfield, and with 1 second left to go, Misty with a shot on, but it's Baz who will clear that ball out. And the placeholders will go down in this game number 4, and Ground Zero even it up. Tactical timeout doing its magic.
Yeah, absolutely. Clearly having a chat. But again, you can't even see it. They're not overly hyped. They still felt the strain in that one, Ground Zero. They don't feel excitement. It's more of a sigh of relief almost at that point in time. Need to fire up. Need to show what that life that they've got there. And there's obviously some really, really strong words coming out from Fiber there. Placeholders, you know, they're just happy to sort of be here at this point in time. They obviously had a really, really good run as they started into it. But yeah, overall, it's 2-2. Anything can kind of happen from here. This is really the crux of the competition at this point in these best of sevens, right? You know, the fact that we go to game 5, even up, heaps more to go.
Exactly. It's basically now just best of 3, right? So you can see that's the reason why, you know, Ground Zero are able to just get themselves through that game number 4 there. And now they know that there's still plenty of stuff to go, plenty of Rocket League to play. Before they can close this one out. 2 more games is what they need to do here for Ground Zero or placeholders. And there's a lot of energy being expended in this series. Both these two teams, Conky, right? They're getting amped, they're getting excited, they're getting stressed when it comes to a lot of these games as well. So if you're Power, you're definitely licking your lips because you're like, these two teams are battering each other, and whoever has to go up against us has to beat us in 2 best of 7.
Exactly. Yeah, Power just sort of sitting back going, look at these guys using all their energy. And we just have to rock up. But look, yeah, I think, you know, Power is certainly a team that can be considered mortal. They are obviously really, really strong inside the region. They're looking to get that back-to-back win as well. But here we go. As the Cherry Blossoms fly, we look for game number 5 here. Very, very exciting series per se. It's the most competitive one, basically, that we've had so far. You know, Ground Zero did put the pressure on a little bit against Power, but it was 4-1, and it was 4-0. Let's see how this one goes from here. Yeah,
guaranteed to go deeper than we have throughout the entirety of the JBL Quantum Grand Slam for 2023. And now, the early aggression from Ground Zero. Once again, that's what was able to get them through that game number 4. A lot of early aggression, get a goal early on, play a bit defensive, burn a bit of this clock out. Nice shot there from Kaka. As you said, Fort, beautiful save.
Really nicely done. Perfect timing again, just straight into the corner as well. Just from the crossbar, but again, it's Gus that's trying to center it up here. Misty is on the side, but is it going to be Fort? Not quite. Baz, great save up on the top, but it's still Fort that's trying to dunk it down. Doesn't quite work out for him though, as Gus does replenish that boost. Now he tries to push it forward. He's still keeping an eye on the prize here. Lines it up, sends it straight down, but Fiber will be there to defend as well.
Yeah, a bit of thumb touch there from Gus, just doesn't have the right angle on it. And Ground Zero, they're holding on to his onslaught once again here. Placeholder seems like they don't want to go away, but beautiful demo there from Fiber, releases a bit of that pressure. But Fort's going to come in, wants to try and get the touch. Fiber beats him to it, and Gus will kick this ball in the corner. So Ground Zero, they're just trying to dig this ball out. They finally get an opportunity to try and counter-attack here, but Fort will stop it on the halfway mark.
Oh, thankfully Fiber breaks forward. It's the first time we've actually seen it inside their center in the front line for Ground Zero. And they take that opportunity. I think that was like a minute 20 of defense for 10 seconds of offense where they score the goal. Beautiful stuff there from Ground Zero. Keeping cool, calm, and collected, and then capitalizing.
Yeah, it really does feel like that's Ground Zero's bread and butter, right? Like just constantly being on the back foot, always being able to feel like their defense is going to get it done, and then the moment they can counterattack, they get it done. It was almost a second goal there for Ground Zero, but Placeholders, they hold on with a little bit of a missed shot. Fiber goes up into the air, misses the shot though, but Kaka will be able to reset, get that reshot off the backboard, but nice little demo there, so Gus gets it cleaned out.
Yeah, exactly right. Gus now bringing it forward with that dribble inside the sky, and Misty trying to send it back to his boy. Gus will be able to hold it out of that corner as well, but Fiber wants to try and fight back as best as he possibly can. Misty holding that defense, manages to bring it forward now, but Kaka's up there to fight in the skies.
And again, another shot on here from Fort. They want to keep the pressure going here for the Placeholders. They know eventually they will find a little pinch. They'll find a small little ankle. They'll find one mistake from Ground Zero. Fiber, beautiful dribble towards the midfield here, will keep this ball in the right corner. Placeholders want to get this ball out. They want to keep going forward. They need to try and make up this 1 goal somehow. They've still got plenty of time to do it though. Up in the air we go. Fiber able to beat out on Gus there, so he's going to be a little while in the midfield, but Misty's back here ready to clean this ball out of the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Misty really trying to sort of send it back now. Fort and Fiber is ready for it, just like Spider-Man waiting on the wall there. holding on for as long as he possibly can, just keeping a constant eye on it. Again, this shadow defense that he just has to play. He wants to get into the front. You know, he scored so many goals in that opener against Power. I think it was 3-0.
Yep.
You know, normally known as a defender, but that's where he's basically had to go back to his roots here and just hold on for as long as possible. But the placeholders are just putting on so much pressure.
Yeah, now with Ground Zero being able to have their own counter-attack here, they're going to go up off the backboard. The touch there from Baz just wasn't there. He didn't get the touch onto the ball that he would like, as you said. Nifty little bump from the placeholders to be able to fall back from that. Definitely could have been a 2-0 lead for Ground Zero.
Trying to get it back in towards the center now again as well, but Misty's just got a keen trained eye here as Gus comes from the back lines, trying to drag it forward. But again, Fiber now looking forward. Misty will be able to get the tap away. Nicely done. Solo defense. Solo Dolo gets it done, but Gus, Vort pushing it forward. Kaka will be able to get the booty up, but he's defended. He's destroyed, and it's Fiber with a nick of time, able to save the day for just a second.
Really needed that for Ground Zero. They needed somebody to come and be their savior, and it looked like it was Fiber for that one. Bought off of the backboard, but now they don't have too many people back there. It's a 2 versus 1 here for Gus. He does get the touch, but a nice little glance on the car for Kaka means they can slow this ball down in the midfield, and Vort is going to get a nice little touch. Wants to get the pass towards Gus. Beats one defender, looks for the second, gets it done. The second touch wasn't on goal though, and Kaka will be able to clean this ball out. So we may be looking towards a 1-0 scoreline here, Kev.
My God. Moving it back, trying to get into this position as best as possible. Kaka taps it down, but it's going to be Misty to send it back, trying to move it as best as he possibly can. Fiber trying to control the ball, does at least manage to get past a little bit further forward here. And there's Baz, out of the side, straight down the guts of it, and there is another score for Ground Zero here, 2-0. Finally, they've got some life breathed back into themselves. They're feeling themselves again. Because, man, placeholders were snapping at their heels.
I think everybody can take a breath now, because everybody was holding their breath for those 3 or 4 minutes where there was not much going for either one of these two teams, and Ground Zero now with a 2-goal lead. And Conky, this is looking like Ground Zero really being able to get back to their roots, get those carry pans rolling. The JBL Quantum Grand Slam Grand Final might be the place they find themselves once again. Winner of this match will then, winner of this game will then go on to series point as well.
That's right, yeah.
That's going to be a big thing to have in your back pocket with either one of these two teams. Maybe we see the placeholders up to take their own tactical timeout.
Exactly right. And if placeholders manage to get into that grand final against Power, you know, it's going to be certainly a different stage than we would see. It's going to be Kaka keeping his eyes forward. 12 seconds. It's looking like Ground Zero is going to be taking this one away at this point in time, unless we see something special to come on through. But it's going to be Baz, and Baz, not quite. It's going to be able to solidify, but it looks like it's done anyway. That's going to be Ground Zero taking game number 5 here. They are up 3-2 in this lower bracket final as well. Only one step away from the grand final rematch up against Power here, Luke. Ground Zero, it's familiar territory for them. They did the bracket reset last year, and now as they're doing it again, hopefully they can find their way forward. But yeah, Power, look, they're sitting in the crowd right now. They've been watching, having an eye.
They are sitting back with bated breath to see whether or not one of these two teams is going to send it to a 7th, or whether or not we're going to be seeing Ground Zero go back into that grand final, have their rematch against Power. They've got a long road ahead of them if they want to hoist that trophy at the end of the day though, Conky. They're getting themselves nice and amped up. You can see there all the boys are getting very, very excited here. Kaka seems to be the cool, calm, collected one, whereas Baz and Fiber are just absolutely popping off in the middle of the stage. And they are just getting the work done. 2-0 scoreline here for them is exactly what they needed. Placeholders, though, they need something. They need to try and find a way to crack this defense coming in from Ground Zero. They're throwing a lot at them. Yeah. It's not like they didn't have opportunities. It just felt like the Ground Zero was saving everything.
Exactly right. It just seems like Ground Zero has that little bit extra to sort of throw in, and that's when they're feeling comfortable, right? We talk about it. When they're fired up, they're bloody fired up, and it looks like that Fiver's able to kind of get the boys moving again, as you would love to see. Coach LBP as well, also really giving the goods in there for the boys too. You know, again, this is an experienced team. This is a team that plays internationally, has played up against some really, really crazy teams as well. And also, you know, being able to get it done. But this is what you talk about, Luke. This time out. Placeholders calling it.
Yeah, it's basically the only place that they can do it, right? You know, they were 2-1 up. Didn't really want to call it for themselves. Now it's back to 2-2. They're sitting at a point here where placeholders, they want to try and talk about this. Want to try and talk about this next game because it is do or die for them. They know that they've got it in them to be able to beat Ground Zero. They know that, but it just seems like these last couple of games that Ground Zero have really been able to find their defensive patterns that really do work out up against the placeholders. They just need that one goal. I think if they open up in this game number 6, if they get the opening goal, I definitely feel like that's a lot of confidence they need to take this one down.
Absolutely. Again, Ground Zero only needing one more game inside this best of 7 to make their way back into the grand final. They will get a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a break, time for some recovery before we go into the grand final. And again, make sure you do come on down to the PAX Arena, down in the JBL spot. And that could be you, the head, sipping the ramen.
Giving away some ramen. That'd be nice if I could get my hands on that.
Hey,
Anyway,
maybe there's some in that claw machine, you never know.
hopefully there should be some around the arena for us today. But anyways, we're into game number 6 here, Conky. Placeholders versus Ground Zero. If Ground Zero win this, it could be all over Red Rover. Vort almost gets the opener here, and it's Gus who gets the opener for Placeholders.
What did you say?
That's what they needed.
What did you say? They needed that straight out the bat there to try and get this momentum back. It was the pause, it was the timeout that they needed a little bit of a chance to chat, listening to the coach. What do we need to do? And Placeholders get straight in out of the kickoff.
Yeah, getting in there. There was basically 2 or 3 shots on goal in the opening couple of 15 seconds, and Placeholders, eventually one of them did go in, and that was Gus at that point, and Ground Zero. Now with 1 goal behind, Placeholders can continue to keep this offensive pressure on, and Misty in the backlines here is getting another pass going. Kaka finally gets to clear it out of the goals, and Ground Zero looking to try and get their own counter-attack going here, but Gus is like a rabid dog. It seems like he's always in the face of these Ground Zero members, always wants to be touching the ball as much as possible, but nice little demo there from Ground Zero to be able to get this ball clear.
Oh my God, Fiber as well, just able to defend it nice enough where he does bring it back forward down to Baz. Baz has a keen eye on the prize. He's going to be able to defend as well, bumping it up just in time, just enough. It's Gus, just off the side, so he can't quite connect, can't quite collect as they bring it down forward as well on the way, but it's Gus! How's he done this? He's all across the entire field. He got the dog in him right now.
That was a nice save there from Gus. For the final moment, that definitely was a goal for Ground Zero if he didn't get that save. But Vort, again, another demo for Ground Zero, playing with 1 man down. They have to wait these next couple of seconds till the respawn comes back in. Five are now rejoining the fray. They're going to have a nice little shot from Vort. They're just constantly keeping the pressure here on the Ground Zero, who have to deal with this offensive pressure, but also try and score their own goal. Vort, once again off the backboard, looks to try and get this deep into the goal of Ground Zero. Gus up into the air over a few more of these defenders.
The fade away.
But Misty hasn't been able to get in there to get the extra touch. Vort off the backboard, doesn't have the boost to get the touch, and they will clear it out with Ground Zero.
I'm just waiting for this guy, Gus, to be in the background. You know, the second it goes up, the second it's a high shot, you always sort of feel like he's going to be coming in to dunk. But overall, it is going to be control given back to the Placeholders as now they try to take it forward again up into the grill of Ground Zero. But unfortunately, there will be nothing medium rare on there for the time being.
They're just trying to find some of these angles to score some of these goals here for Ground Zero, and that was almost a deft little touch from Kaka to get the first goal for Ground Zero, to try and pull this back to even. But Placeholders, they hold on, they get a few more of these extra touches, they get a few more of this extra pressure going forward. And Ground Zero is starting to choke out the Placeholders here. They're really starting to put the pressure on them when it comes to their own offensive attacks. Now Baz gets the triple touch, but doesn't get the goal off the back of it, and Placeholders will force this out into the corner, but still the pressure's on.
Yeah, he's still continuing forward, isn't he? You know, such great ball control from Baz, but unfortunately it doesn't go quite his way on that. Defense is really still strong for the Placeholders. They very much have the pace of this game so far. But as they move forward, Fiber tries to get up back as possible. But it's still, again, it's just this constant game of push and pull, cat and mouse. Nobody really kind of driving it forward as best as they possibly can.
Yeah, it just feels like everybody has an answer for anything that's going forward. Nobody's been able to find that small little advantage just yet. But speaking of 4 Placeholders, they're the ones with the advantage, right? The fact that they have the 1 goal lead now. There's got a minute and 50 left to go. Ground Zero not sweating just yet. There's still plenty of time for them to score this goal. Nice demo though. Now it means there's a shot on for the Placeholders, but Kaka's there in time to clean it out of their own corner. Gus redirect towards the center of goal, but Fiber wants to try and break some ankles, get a few of these dribbles going his way, but it won't work out, and Ford gets a retort himself.
Yeah, absolutely. Bringing it back, just keeping a keen eye on where that ball's going to be going, but it's Misty who gets the dribble and holds on for a little while longer. Looks like we do have Kaka very, very close. And Baz does go for the shot on goal, but it's not quite hitting the mark. Now Gus pushing it forward, open goal. Just gets it. Kaka able to defend for now, but looking forward, he's up there. He's trying to go for the dunk, but there is all members here for Ground Zero to defend. Minute left on the clock.
They were a little lucky there that wasn't on goal, because that could be a 2-0 scoreline right now for Placeholders. We could be going all the way to 7, but the way it's starting to look here, they're doing a good shot, and Gus the death touch on the front of his car. Gets it a 2-0 scoreline, and the placeholder fans are going wild as they're seeing a Game 7 in their sights. And this is exactly what you want off a tactical timeout, right? You need to get the wisdom from the coach. You need to get yourself into that Zen mode. And it's exactly as I said, Conky, right? That first goal means so much for the placeholders because then they can just keep the pressure on and they don't have to worry about this ground zero wall.
Ground zero just so desperate to score, but they've just spent so much time basically doing damage control in the backline. You know, Gus again able to defend, holding it on for a little while longer as Kaka. He wants to get it forward. He wants to get some more goals scored, but it's Fiber who again continues to just have to sit back in the defenses. And he sends it forward this time. Baz waiting in the wings, but Mort is going to be able to send it away. But look at Fiber again, brute forcing his way forward.
Seems like he's doing a lot of work so far for ground zero, but they just haven't been able to connect together and get these goals going forward. As we have already said, a lot of offensive pressure coming in from the placeholders. A little bit of an awkward bounce there coming in from the corner, so Baz wants to try and redirect that towards the middle part of the field. Fiber doesn't get the touch though, but with only 8 seconds left to go, this is sealed up. Conky, we are going all the way to 7. We are being treated with the full 7 in this best of 7, and placeholders will win this game number 6. As the ball touches the ground, and this is where it all comes down to 5 minutes of Rocket League.
Exactly right. Last time it was a 4-2, but this time we are going all the way. 3-3 scoreline. Ground zero feeling the pressure. As you mentioned, we keep harping on how important that opening goal was for the placeholders. You know, they found an opportunity, they were able to get it done, and then there was like a 3-minute gap before anything else happened, right? First 12 seconds, straight in there like swimwear, and they were able to get it done. But now, ground zero, right? Backs up against the wall. I think the pressure's on them.
Oh, 100%. It definitely does feel like the ground zero. They've been putting a lot of emphasis on their defense right now, but as soon as placeholders start getting a few more of these squeaky little goals in, it's very, very hard for them to try and get onto the opposite side of the map because the placeholders are constantly in their face, right? Like, as I was saying, it feels like their Gus is just a rabid dog just chasing the ball around the map, but he's always in the right place at the right time, constantly putting the pressure back onto ground zero, and the placeholders, they've sent this to 7, and I've seen this plenty of times here, Conky. You get to that game number 7, and the team that wins the previous game is generally the one that's going to be in the better spot to win it.
We asked them so specifically that the script had to include another 7 game, right? You know, first time, again, straight out the bat, we had that opening series against Power and Ground Zero last year, 2022, at the exact same location we're in now, where it was just absolutely cracking hot. And then Power clearly, you know, recharged in the afternoon. Clearly, again, afternoon players, afternoon gamers, and we're able to just decimate 4-0. So all I'm knowing is here, you know, Power is probably sitting here watching. Again, they have been for the entirety of the day, going, geez, these guys, placeholders, going to be running through that lower bracket gauntlet and bringing it up to us.
Yeah, they definitely can be, and this is going to be a good confidence boost for them if they're able to take down ground zero. You can see Gus, he's starting to feel it. It's those Game 7 nerves, right? You know, you're on stage for the first time, you breeze through your first series, and now it's the nitty-gritty. It is one game of Rocket League, Conky. That is all that separates him from being second, going into a grand final up against Power, or finishing here in 3rd.
He's done East Conference, he's done West Conference, he's all the way into it now, you know. Game 7 player, this is the time where it is really ready to shine. But yeah, look, as we sort of, you know, got told before this event, right? Gus, someone who finally got given that opportunity, and he has been delivering above it. So yeah, this is a really, really hot series, and it's absolutely packed down here as well at this point in time. So if you guys aren't here already, make sure you get down here. It's not just the claw machine, it's also JBL, Quantum, Grand Slam, game number 7. Let's see what it's going.
Oh, you can feel the tension in the air between both these two teams, the placeholders and Ground Zero. They've got 5 minutes to go. The kickoff was a little awkward with the demo, but Gus was able to win that one out. And again, Ground Zero, you can see they flipped the script a little bit, right? They want to try and get on the front foot in these opening couple of minutes to try and put the placeholders on the back foot, because they don't want to give the confidence to these young upstarts in the lower bracket.
Not at all. Don't want to give it to them. You need the level heads. You need that experience of Ground Zero. That's what they're saying. They want to get it done, even with a sub. They want to make it work, and I think they can. But again, they're going to have to overwhelm a very, very momentous placeholders here. But there's not really much action happening so far. It's been very, very center ball for the time being, trying to get a little bit of further control down towards the forwards. Yeah,
Kaka did a really good job of just getting this ball back in their offensive half. Placeholders, though, haven't really been able to get a big clearing ball just yet. It seems like halfway defense is the way that Ground Zero want to play this game for now. Continuing to put the pressure on. Kaka goes. First shot on goal saved, though, by the placeholders. That was Gus there being able to chime through to be able to get that ball going out. And now Kaka wants to go back in once again. He beats on to Gus, but there's Memphis there off the side post, and Gus will clear it back to the corner.
Man, this guy is just everywhere, barking, not all bite. This man, he is looking for it hard, but he can't quite connect every single step of the way. He needs the rest of the team to stand up with him as well, because Ground Zero, they're putting the pressure on. Look at this, shaking, quaking, waiting to see what placeholders are going to be doing here. And as it lines up, Fort gives it a crack, but Kaka is going to be able to get it out of there, and he gets the ball straight back into the hands. But look at Gus, he is here once more.
It really does feel like placeholders, as soon as they get that ball in the offensive half, they are just all go, go, go. They love overcommitting. They love trying to get as many members as they can in front of goal, put the pressure back onto Ground Zero. Ball back here off the corner has just lost a whole lot of its speed here, so we're just going to wait until some of these passes go forward. Misty, though, goes directly downfield, wants to try and get these Ground Zero members, trying to overcommit to some of these defensive plays, see if they can get around them, see if they can dribble past them. But Baz, nice little wall there up in the midfield, goes up in the air, stunts the ball as well. And Ground Zero just holding this ball in their own corner, waiting for Five to clear this out. They're seeing if maybe some of these 1v1s can open something out. A bit lucky there from Fort to be able to bounce off the roof onto the back part of his car. Gus goes in for the pinch, but doesn't get it going his way.
Man, oh man, you know, it's the final game of the series, and all of a sudden there hasn't been any scoring. It's getting closer. There's been some valiant defenses as well, but now Fiber has to try and bring it forward. Fort swings over the top, but he doesn't quite connect on it as well. Baz very much in control of the pace of this one as well. He's been doing great on the defense, centering it up for the rest of his team, but they need to step up. They need to find something. They're playing so much on the back foot here. Ground Zero, they need to score. They need to stop defending and try their best to get it forward.
Yeah, it really does seem like the Ground Zero, they need to just have that one offensive shot before off the roof, almost gets it done. So the save comes in there from Fiber, and this means the counter-attack is on. Gus, beautiful stop there on the halfway line. The ball will be centered once again, but Misty is able to collect it in the air, get the foot reset as well. And Ground Zero and Placeholders, both teams waiting for that first goal. It's going to be such a tense moment until we see something come for one of these two teams.
Absolutely, man. Now Gus holding it high and dry, sending it back into the forward 50 once more, but Kaka will be able to respond and bring it back. It is a little bit of a whiff there, and that actually gives the opportunity up potentially to Vort here and Misty, but no, it's Fiber. And again, he is doing it with every single part of his body right now as the tap over the top. Can Fiber do it? Oh no! A blunder!
You hate to see it, Conky. You hate to see it.
Was that Gus?
Yeah, Gus misses
Gus,
the ball.
No! Not like this!
By the smallest of margins, skims off his bonnet, falls back behind his teammate, and Fiber capitalizes on the mistake. And this is exactly what we said, right? It is Game 7. One mistake can determine the game.
Has to save it now, has to redeem himself. You win some, you lose some, but if you Gus, you want to win some. Trying to bring it forward now, but again, this is where the pressure really does start to amount. You know, capitalizing Fiber, he's going to be able to get the dribble back, but Gus collects, sending it forward.
Especially because so much of this time got burned before that first goal went down. There's only 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go, but Misty goes up, misses the ball, but Gus, the man that's trying to redeem himself, see if he can get himself back into the Rocket League heaven, gets the shot and it goes in! The top right corner for Placeholders, and we're back to even!
My God!
The double touch, and Gus, the bounce off the ground, the drop shot was enough.
Jesus.
And we're gonna temper everybody's expectations with a little bit of a pause.
Gus is the kind of guy that says, I'll get you back, I promise, but then actually does. Clearly.
Returns it twofold.
That's right.
That was a great solo effort there coming in from Gus to really be able to make up for a small mistake that he made only a few moments beforehand. Now we're at 1-1 here, Conky. I believe we got the 1 minute warning as well. We are in a position where, oh, this is very, very tight. I mean, it would only be fitting if we went to overtime in game number 7, right?
It would be, yeah, exactly right. This is exactly the kind of Rocket League that you want to be witnessing at the JBL Quantum Grand Slam. It certainly is grand, and I'm happy to see this slam.
There's a lot of slamming going on right now between both of these two teams. They're just going punch for punch and seeing who will stand up when the clock ticks down. Baz goes up into the air, beats out onto Gus. Fiber wants to try and get the second touch off of Misty, but he does a good job to be able to go to that right-hand side. And now Baz, again, just having this forward defense, is trying to stop any of this attack coming in from the placeholders, but it is a nice touch from Fort. Put the pressure back onto Ground Zero, who loves to slow this ball down, and now Fiber with a bit of a solo effort himself, centering ball for Baz. He shoots into the corner, but it's Misty with the save, but Kaka's still here.
Can he bring it down? It's going to be so awkward here. Fiber from the back, no! Misty with the side swipe, here we go. 10 seconds, all to work for, all to play for. And Misty will take it forward with 7 seconds left on the clock. What an animal!
You can see Gus there, he had to pull out of that final shot. The shot was on goal from Misty with the counter-attack shot, and if you are ground zero, you are oh so dejected. There were so many moments that you had the shots on, and there's 4 seconds to stay in the JBL Quantum Grand Slam. The ball goes up in the air, the placeholder fans are holding their breath, and it will touch the ground.
No,
it does!
There it is!
And placeholders will go into the grand final and play up against Power. Gus keeps his series win alive on land, not losing, but ground zero in the final couple of moments. Misty with a straight shot finishes it off. And what a series we had here, Conky. Oh my God. If this is anything like the grand final, we're in for such a banger day.
I might have to become a Rocket League caster now. This game's pretty good, I reckon. It's very,
not bad.
very
It's
fun,
not
right?
bad.
My, oh my. You can just see the way it's going and what it means to these guys as well, you know, just getting it done up on the stage. Again, look, you know, it is a little bit bittersweet for Ground Zero here, losing one of their best players. Obviously, they had a really good run throughout the course of the year, core 3 since the start of 2023, but ultimately was super lucky having to take the knee for this event. Baz comes in and look, he does his best. He did a really, really cracker job, but I think it really does go down to how well we saw Gus perform in that one. I think, you know, Misty and Vortex, you expect the level of consistency from them, the experience they've shared together, but just the way that they were able to deliver that there, yeah, it's beautiful. And I think Gus so far, unless we see something incredible from Power, he's the MVP of the day so far.
100%. Gus is definitely the front runner when it comes to the MVP for today for the JBL Quantum Grand Slam. And what a sick series from placeholders to be able to get themselves into the grand final. And you know, coming into this event, obviously we've got our power rankings from a lot of the people coming into the Rocket League community. They put Ground Zero and Power definitely at the top. But placeholders, man, they're just being the upstarts in the lower bracket. And as I said, if there's ever going to be a fairy tale where you can come from the lower bracket and win a grand final, you basically have to start from as far back as possible so the story's as long as possible, right?
Yeah.
And placeholders, they're doing it the right way here. They went to all 7 against Ground Zero. They did that at the dying moments as well, Conky. That's the biggest thing for me. They got that final goal. It was 1-1. You're probably already mentally going in towards overtime at that point. And then Misty just hits that counter shot, and then off you go. And then basically the cheers going, the crowd's going wild for placeholders.
Well, how quickly that game turns around, right? It was like a minute 20 left on the clock before we saw absolutely anything. Yep. Gus accidental fumble, gets the response back with a minute left, and then to have this absolutely clinch run right at the very end there, you know, not even needing to do it. It's Misty from the back line, and yeah, Jesus, it's just, what a game of Rocket League we've seen.
Yeah, that was a sick ending to such a sick series that we had here between these two teams. And commiserations go over towards Ground Zero as well. Not being able to get the tournament run that they would hoped for here. Obviously would have loved to have gone into that grand final for the rematch up against Power, but at the end of the day, placeholders got it done. And, you know, as you said, off the back of somebody like Gus, who's been an absolute freak throughout the entirety of all these series. This guy is an absolute monster when it comes to playing on land. And who knows? Maybe at the end of the day, this could, you know, rocket not only this team, but even, you know, players across into, you know, up bigger and better things when it comes to, you know, the International Rocket League tournament. And these guys are, I mean, they've got a special place in my heart. Yeah, I feel like every single time that I jump into an esports tournament, you get, you know, an underdog to be able to make a run like this. I'm super excited. So let's go and have a look at the bracket, ladies and gentlemen. JBL Quantum Grand Slam. We've already got 2 series under our belts, actually 3 series under our belts now. We've only got 1 left remaining here, Conky. It feels like this day has gone so fast. And now, Power versus the placeholders. Unfortunately for Ground Zero, they just weren't able to get that magical 4 number in those series. And placeholders 4-0, 4-3. Now have to try and get a full bracket reset against Power though, Conky. It's going to be a rough task.
Yeah, but to be able to keep that momentum behind you, you know, some teams, obviously, they love the break, they love the additional time to rest, recover, and watch forward. Other teams, they want that fight. They want that momentum to come out of the lower bracket, right? So to do it from the lower semifinals, Surani was no competitor at all in them, you know, the way that they were doing it, and then to beat out Ground Zero again, you know, massive stuff. So I think an awesome boost for placeholders here. I think they've definitely got to be happy with that. So awesome result from them, and yeah, hopefully they can keep on taking it, because as you mentioned, underdog story, Cinderella story, Sydney's out the back, so that's what we can expect, right?
Exactly, but This, on the other side of the coin, it's a lot of energy they've had to expend throughout the entirety of today. Maybe the hype can start to roll them towards the grand final. That is the real question. Hopefully some of those questions get answered by Mr. Elfish Guy on stage, because I believe he has the winners standing by.
I have the winner again, and I have the man of the moment, I guess, Gus, once again for the interview. It seems like you keep getting thrown under the bus to do the interview. I mean, what's going on with your teammates? Why aren't they doing the interview? Are they scared of me, or is it just getting you up for a bit of fun?
I don't know. I think they're just scared. They just wanted to get me up, so yeah.
All right, well, we might have to get one of them for the pre-match interview. I got the eyes locked in. We'll see which one's going to make it to that pre-grand final interview. But we'll talk about, obviously, that last game, a really tense one. Obviously, goes all the way to 7. I honestly was looking at that in particular in Game 3. You guys went up 3-0. It looked like you really had a bit of momentum there, but things kind of slowed down. So how are you guys dealing with that? How are you kind of talking amongst yourself? What's the conversations going like when you're down a couple of games in a row against a team like Ground Zero?
I mean, it's extremely hard to keep good mental against a team like that, but the boys are here. They're always putting my chin up, and yeah, I just don't get mad anymore, so yeah.
And I think you're certainly the individual that seems to have come away with a couple of those clutch plays. I don't know if you heard the casters just then saying, maybe you're on the shortlist for MVP at the moment for the tournament. How are you feeling about that title? You reckon you can claim that in the grand final?
I hope so. I think I will. We'll have to wait and see. I'm very confident coming into the next series, so yeah.
Interesting to hear. Obviously, Power, do you rank them a little bit higher than Ground Zero? Do you think that's going to be a tougher game?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
All right, and are you going to win?
I think, yeah. Full confidence, yes.
Full confidence, great to hear. And of course, we've got the grand final coming up in just a moment. Don't go too far away. We'll be back right after this.